coherence theory of truth. A coherence theory of truth states that the truth of any proposition consists in its coherence with some specified set of propositions. The coherence theory differs from its principal competitor, the correspondence theory of truth, in two essential respects. Versions of the coherence theory of truth. The coherence theory of truth has several versions. These versions differ on two major issues. Different versions of the theory give different accounts of the coherence relation. Different varieties of the theory also give various accounts of the set of propositions with which true propositions cohere. Beliefs. Number 1. Coherentists generally agree that the specified set consists of propositions believed or held to be true. Coherentists who do not believe that the specified set is the set of propositions believed by an omniscient being are committed to rejection of the principle of bivalence, since it is not the case that for every proposition either it or a contrary proposition coheres with the specified set. Arguments for coherence theories of truth. Two principal lines of argument have led philosophers to adopt a coherence theory of truth. Early advocates of coherence theories were persuaded by reflection on metaphysical questions. The metaphysical route to coherentism. Early versions of the coherence theory were associated with idealism. Certainly, a coherence theory was adopted by a number of British idealists in the last years of the 19th century and the first decades of the 20th. Beliefs. Number 1. Idealists are led to a coherence theory of truth by their metaphysical position. Number 2. From the idealist perspective, reality is something like a collection of beliefs.
Epistemological roots to coherentism. Coherence theory proclaimed that the proposition is not correspond to objective facts, not merely that they cannot be known to correspond. Example or beliefs. Research suggests if the coherence with a set of beliefs is simply a good but fallible test of truth, the argument fails. Example or beliefs. The coherence of a proposition with a set of beliefs is a good indication that the proposition corresponds to objective facts and that we know that proposition corresponds. As for Davidson, the specification objection. Russell originates that coherence theories have no way to identify the specified set of proposition without contradicting their position. Example or beliefs. Proposition number 1. Jane Austen was hung for murder. Connect with some proposition. Jane Austen died in her bed. Connects in another proposition. Every proposition connects in other proposition. Example or beliefs. If we say that P is true, if and only if connect to other specified set of proposition.
The transcendence objection. However, no proposition on exactly how many phrases Austen wrote coheres with any set of beliefs, and we can safely conclude that none of them will ever cohere with a set of beliefs. Beliefs number 1 in the transcendence objection. The opposition to transcendence charges that the philosophy of coherence of reality is unable to account for the fact that certain propositions that cohere with no collections of beliefs are valid. Beliefs number 2. Coherence theories should protect their stance against the objection of transcendence by maintaining that the issue is asked by the objection. The logic objection. In this case, since propositions do not cohere with each other, the coherence theory of truth totally breaks down. Example number 1 of the logic objection. Russell claims, for instance, that assuming the validity of the rule of non-contradiction is to say that two propositions cohere with each other. Coherentism in this case does not take account of the reality of the law of non-contradiction. Example number 2 of the logic objection. It is not that coherentists say truth consists in coherence according to the logical news, whatever they are. and then this combines with the truth of the logical laws to make things true. That would be circular, but coherentists don't have to say that. No objections to coherentism. No objections to coherentism in a way that can be viewed as question taken by a coherent theorist. The truth maker of the expression in question is an objective way which the universe is. Coherentists dispute that objective criteria make any sentence valid. Example number 1 of new objections to coherentism. If, as historical evidence show, there is a world independent of representation of it, then the object of representation should be to explain the world, not just to connect. Example number 2 is the other recent objection to coherentism has been raised by Colin McKean. Coherentists are committed to the view that, for instance, snowfall from the sky is valid if other views